So I've gotten a bunch of people asking, what does something like this cost, the green coupe? If you've seen the last video, I bought a 66 coupe. It's going to be a daily driver build, so I'm going to keep it as cheap as possible. And a bunch of people ask what something like that's worth, what did you pay for it? Which I get asked that all the time on cars that I buy, because people want to know what they should be spending or what kind of price range value do you think something like that is. So I'll try and help out with that question in this video, and I'll let you know how much I paid for this green coupe here, which, just to show you if you haven't seen the last videos, this is going to be a new build series on my channel of just making a daily driver out of a 66 Mustang coupe. So you can see through the condition of this, and I also have a video of taking apart, I took out the front and back glass and the interior here, so you can kind of see how involved this car is as far as rust. That's what I'm just uncovering, which I knew the floor pans are rusty, toe boards are rusty, so I'm changing out those. I'm going to add torque boxes in the front on both sides, and I'm going to replace these apron extensions on both sides just to stiffen up the top end. And then that's about the extent of rust repair that I'm going to do to this car. I don't want to take apart any more than what you see really, other than the driveline. The suspension is going to get changed out. A driveline is going to get pulled to go through that to clean it up and put it back together. But I don't want to tear apart the doors. They're not hateful. They have the usual rust in the front here, and the fenders on both sides have rust here on that very bottom, but it actually has the molding clips for the rocker, and I'm just gonna buy new rocker moldings, put them on, and that's actually gonna cover up those rust holes there in the fenders, so it won't be as of an eyesore as it is without them. Quarter panels, this is the worst of the two sides. You can see someone had put some Bondo in it before, and that's busting out through. So I'm gonna knock that stuff out, and I'm just gonna refill it with like a Duraglass or something of that's a little bit stronger, just to hold up for now, so it's not just rusty holes poking through, because I don't want to spend the time to change out the quarters, because if I'm doing the quarters and the doors and all that, then you got to paint it, and I don't want to get into that. The car will clean up nice the way that it is, so I'm just doing cosmetics to it. But just to give a context, after showing you that little bit, it's not that bad of a car, so it's not going to be a long-term project. I'm going to get this car together. I actually picked up the transmission over the weekend here, which is a 3-speed manual, because I want to take it to a manual. It's got an automatic in it. But I paid $3,200 for this car, which is a smoking deal, because I do have the title for it. So $3,200 got me the car. It has an engine in it that I'm going to use. It had a bunch of interior stuff that I can still reuse, and it actually came with a Willwood 4-piston front brake kit, master cylinder proportioning valve, and a full brake line kit. So just the parts alone that I got with this car are probably like $1,500. So you take that out of it, I only really paid $1,700 for the shell of a car, and I got the brakes with it. So in my opinion, that's a pretty good deal when you're looking for something like this and you don't want to get that involved in it. You just got to be careful when you're picking up a car like this, because the rust could be hidden, or it could be more than you really assume from the start. Take a screwdriver with you and just give a little poke to some of the areas. You really want to check out frame rails. This car, the frame rails are really nice, which is part of the reason why I bought it. And just all the windows worked, the doors closed, trunk latched, the hood latched, all that stuff works. So it takes out that guesswork and extra time of fixing that stuff. So yeah, you can't beat a price like that for a car that's in this condition. That's pretty cheap. But if you're looking for a project for yourself, you can find these coupes all the time for under 10 grand that need some work, which 10 grand is a lot of money. That's why I jumped on this one, because I'd like to have this car on the road for around 7,000, if that. I'd like to try and stay under that. Which that's pretty cheap for a driver car, in my opinion, to have a 66 Mustang that's roadworthy for $7,000. That's pretty good. So if you buy something cheap like that to start with and put a little bit of money into it to make it just nice to drive, don't go overboard with parts and you know, hopping up the engine and all that kind of stuff, because that's where it just keeps climbing and climbing. But 5,000, 6,000, you see these all the time for something that's nice. So yeah, that's coupes though. Fastbacks is a whole different ball game. People want 15 grand for a completely rusted out car, which leads me to just to give you a little bit of context. I'll only say the price I paid on this car, just because I am keeping this car. It's not going to be for resale. This 69 Mach 1 shell, I paid 2 grand for that, which that's a smoking deal. I only got what you see there. There's no extra parts with it. So what you see is what you get, but it's a nice fastback shell to start with for $2,000. It doesn't get any cheaper than that. If you do find them cheaper than that, buy it up and resell it, because you can make a couple $1,000s on that with the price of cars now. But so hopefully that gives you a little bit of a idea on pricing for buying a shell to start with, or a car that you want to make your project car. Hopefully that helps you out a little bit. Like I said, all my videos going forward here are going to be based on trying to help people that are in the Mustang community here, that are wanting to either fix up their car, which this green car will be a perfect example of a bunch of videos of just trying to help people do the same project. I have a video coming out on removing the glass, front rear glass, and some of the interior. I tell you how to do that, taking off the window molding clips. So just trying to help out with people's builds as best as I can and have fun. This car I only worked on it for a day, and it's just been a different level of fun, because I know that I'm going to drive it in the end. It's just a little more fun of a build to do than, say, a customer's car or something that's a high stress, where it's just freshly painted. So looking forward to getting out a bunch more videos. Thanks for watching. If you're not subscribed, hit the subscribe button. I really appreciate it, to help grow this channel as much as possible. Leave a comment down below. I try to reply to as many questions as I can. And leave a like if you like this video. Other than that, I'll see you in the next video, and thanks for watching.